Hey, in case anybody shows up or watches this later, I'm working on Manifesting Monday, and I thought while I'm here, maybe I can talk to you all if you got questions about tarot while I'm doing my work. So we'll make it interactive. I thought it might be kind of fun. I haven't been live on here in years because I haven't been able to be. It was just it was a different time. Anyway, as I'm working with my Manifesting Monday work today, where is it? I'm working with the runic tarot, which is just a way. I like to shake up the decks that I use, so I continue to stay on top of the different styles and different divination tools like runes, so that I can continue to be well versed and explore different traditions and styles. So what you might see is me being kind of quiet if no one's here, because I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. It was a surprise. What is Manifesting Monday, do you ask? It is a way that I provide insight into how to manifest that which you most desire, usually around relationships, by star sign. And if you've subscribed to any of the tiers that I have, whether it's on my account or on Patreon, I'm starting to slowly move away from Patreon. You can subscribe at ComingOutTarot.com. Then you get access to the how to do all this stuff. What I'll tell you is what to do in um, in Manifesting Monday, but the like detail, what do you actually do with what I tell you to do? All of that insight and nuance, that all shows up in the for subscribers. Okay, and I don't mean like YouTube subscribers. I mean like you subscribe and support me monthly, and then you get more insight because there is time and effort behind this work. All right. I'm gonna shore up this window a little bit so I can see my notes. I do just like a practice run for all of this. A practice run. It is I have a template that I keep track of, and then I just fill it out, and then I add it to my newsletter for those people who are subscribed to the newsletter. I can then drop it easily into spaces where I share similar information and have discussions around the stuff, and then I can also like eventually make a Manifesting Monday video that shows up here. I'm realizing that my hat is like cutting off all the light to my face, but my hair is a mess. Okay. What is it? Oh, it's the Four of Cups today. On a sneak preview, card of the week next week is the Four of Cups. Hmm. Just looked up and the time was 5:08, which is 5/8 is my birthday. I also just see 5/8 all the friggin' time. So no surprise, but also an acknowledgement like, oh, there it is, 5/8. High Priestess. I've also been around a lot of guys with May 5th birthdays recently for some reason. A lot of eights happening. That 5/8 happened. I looked down, the next card was the Eight of Swords. And as I finished talking about it, the last card was the Eight of Wands. There's 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Capricorn. This runic tarot is actually, the art is really beautiful. And it's, look at that. There's a whole story going on there. It's gorgeous work. I just think it's powerful. It's powerful. It's pretty. Okay, what I'm probably gonna do is move this so I can type better. So you're gonna be dipped down. Um, Sure. I'm answering questions about tarot, but not questions with tarot. So if you're interested in learning more about tarot, I'm happy to answer it. Thanks for asking. Um, I'm here and available for. I didn't know that about tarot, or tell me more about it. Well, I'm currently working on a reading called Manifesting Monday, which is one that I send out via email and in spaces and eventually out here on YouTube. So I'm working on a separate reading, but I'm here and available for questions about tarot if you're interested in knowing more about tarot. This is the cards that I'm working with for Manifesting Monday. Can we trust fully in tarot prediction related to future? I think that depends on the reader that you're working with. So, yes, but maybe you wouldn't trust the reader. So, tarot has a lot of strength in different communities. For example, most people who I have met who are from India tend to have a lot more trust in astrology, especially Vedic or Eastern astrology, rather than Western. And that type of astrology um, is not only predictive, but it's used for health and physical health for supporting not only our bodies but also our minds and being able to find the right matches, right? So being connected to someone that we want to spend the rest of our lives with. Um, and I think tarot can do similar things. It all depends on the reader because some readers aren't predictive. Some readers don't predict the future. They focus on the past and patterns that occur, or they focus on the present and helping you understand what you're going through today so that you can be more prepared for the future. And then there are readers who do, in fact, read for the future. So there is, I think, trust there if you have the reader that you can have faith in. Some tarot readers give a different answer in the same question, even in the same day. 100%. That's because the energy is always changing. The level of experience of the reader is always different. And if you're asking the same question of multiple readers, at some point, like, the energy around you is going to be like, you didn't listen the first time, move on, you know, and it'll start messing with you. So it is not unusual for people asking the same question in the same day of multiple tarot readers to get different answers. Uh, Partly because the readers are different, levels of experience are different, styles are different, but also because you probably should have listened the first or second time. And the energy, the universe is just now, nope, you didn't listen. I'm going to start fucking with you. Does that answer your question? Does that make sense, Asinla? I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I hope that answered your question. Hi, Rooney. How are you? Good evening. It's morning for me, so good morning as well. What kind of Doing well, thank you. What kind of questions do you have about tarot? What do you mean career? If it's not clear, the title of this is about asking questions about tarot. I'm not doing tarot readings. I'm writing up a tarot reading for the people who have subscribed to me, but the chat today is about tarot itself. So if you have questions about tarot, I'm happy to answer them. Kind of like a son that was asking about tarot readers and if we can fully trust it. Are you asking if tarot is a good career? Tarot is a really challenging career as a profession. It's actually pretty hard because people, especially in the West where I'm in the Midwest of the West, in the US, tarot is looked on as a carnival trick, a party trick, and not something that is supportive of who you can be, understanding and reflecting on who you are, and trying to make your life better as a result. So, as a career, it's challenging. You gotta diversify your income. You gotta think about it like a business, and you have to prep as if it's a business because it is. And if you want to make money at it and have a sustainable living, it's a lot of hustle and a lot of work. Are you thinking about being a tarot reader? Yeah, so there's different ways. Like you can get on a psychic line, like a hotline or a psychic website, in which case a percentage of your fees will go to that line, and some of it will come to you, and you get paid usually monthly. You could go off on your own, in which case you can only make as much money based on the amount you charge and the hours you spend reading. So if nobody's booking, you're not making any money. If they're booking, there's only so much time for you in a day. So you can only make so much money in a day, depending on your rates and the time that you want to work. And you can make other money, like some people will make money doing lives on TikTok, or some people will make money uh, doing events and fairs, and some people make money writing books about tarot. Hey Adiba, no, you may not ask a free question. I'm answering questions about tarot. I'm not doing tarot readings live. I'm typing up a tarot reading for uh, people who have subscribed on my webpage and which is another way to make money, Rooney, is having subscription services like Patreon. I have people who subscribed and I'm giving them a reading and I'm typing that up today. Thanks, Adiva. Uh, yeah, how long does it take to learn tarot, Rooney? Some people learn it very quickly. I think it takes a lifetime. I'm constantly learning tarot. So there's a point where you get comfortable enough with tarot where you know you've got a style, you know you've got a relationship with the cards, and you know have a sense of what they mean, which isn't always the book meaning. And that's part of the classes that I teach, which is another way to make money with tarot. I teach classes. I teach you how to find your own meanings in the cards because the meanings that somebody else wrote down aren't always the true meanings of the cards or the way that it works for you. So there's lots of different ways to make money with tarot, and if you don't diversify that, then you won't make money because there's only so much of you to go around. Uh, does tarot do future predictions, Adiba? Yes. In fact, I was talking with Asenla about that. Depending on the reader that you work with, yes, tarot does do future predictions. Are you worried that it does not? Do you have other questions, Rooney, about how tarot works or how you might be, how you can make money at it? Are they true exactly? They can be. I've had readings that were um, somebody asked me where they'd lost a family heirloom, and I pointed them to where it was, and it was there. So yes, it can be very clear and to the point. Similarly about relationships, I've had people um, be extremely shocked when I talk to them about the experiences that they're having in relationships, and I don't know who they are or what their lives entail or what their experiences are. So yeah, tarot can be very true. And of course, sometimes tarot readers have bad days and we don't connect well, and maybe we don't give you a great insight or advice. What does it what does a person see? Why does a person see the same number, and what does tarot say about it? Uh, Repeating numbers happen for multiple reasons. I think the primary one is that it's a synchronicity. It's a sign. It's meant to guide you somewhere. Either you're meant to follow that number or that number is following you for a reason. And you just have to find out what that means for you. For example, 5/8 has been following me since I was born. I was born on 5/8. And over the last several years, since about 2013 or so, 2012, I've been seeing it everywhere on the length of videos. When I look at the clock, when I was doing this, I said at the very beginning, you guys weren't here, but I looked up and it was 5:08, and then there were multiple eights that I was looking at in cards. So repeating numbers um, have a lot of guidance for us. And what does tarot say about repeating numbers? I see repeating numbers in tarot as an energy. So if I see a whole bunch of eights show up when I'm doing a reading, then I know I've got an energy of activity, movement, someone who is near the end of their journey and it just has a little bit more to go if they just keep going. So yeah, numbers can be powerful in tarot. Do tarot readers can read their own future or anything coming into their life like they read for others? Yes, Rooney, tarot readers can read for themselves, 100%. Uh, I think the easiest way to do that is if you record the reading for yourself as if you're reading for someone else, because you can get stuck in your own biases, and that can be confusing and frustrating and challenging. Especially if you are invested in the outcome. So if you do a reading for yourself as if you're reading for someone else by recording it, you can listen back to it objectively without having the added burden of trying to understand what you're reading while you're reading it, because your subconscious doesn't work and you're trying to conceptualize what the answer is. And it's easier if you just kind of separate those things. Rooney, I'm so attracted to two, and I see 222 all the time. Amazing. Yeah, follow it. See where it takes you. If you're seeing those 222s, explore it. I dug into the 5/8, knowing what 5 and 8 is in tarot. 5 is the Hierophant, 8 is strength. Yeah, 8 is strength. And together, they're 5 and 8 are 13. So that's the death card. And 13. 1 plus 3 is 4, which is the Emperor card. Uh, so I have the Hierophant, I have the Strength card, I have the Death card, and I have the Emperor card. And those are all working together to help me understand why those numbers are repeating. What do you mean mirror numbers? Do you mean like 11 and 11, Adiba? What is 2224? Well, if you're looking at angel numbers, it can mean it has several different meanings. Angel numbers is one. I'm not an angel number person, so you'd have to go Google that. I think of twos as being relative to the high priestess. If I see three twos, now I've got the number six, so I'm also thinking about the lovers. So the high priestess and the lovers and how those might interact. I've got a spiritual guide that is helping me better understand my relationships. Uh, Mirror numbers like 1717. Yeah, I was thinking like 1111. Uh, I think mirrored numbers are just like any other number. They're just a sign. Pay attention to them. Where are they guiding you? What's happening when they're showing up? Great questions. And I'll always find a way to bring it back to tarot. It's like 1717. 17 is the star. If I add those together, I've got 8 and 8, and then I've got 16. So I've got the strength, I've got the star, I've got the tower, I've got the chariot, because 1 and 6 is 7. So now I've got, if I'm seeing 17, 17, 17, I'm starting with the star, seeing what the influence strength has, seeing what the influence the tower has, and then seeing what the influence the chariot has. And I would bring all of that together into some guidance for myself. Is tarot based on energies? 100% yes. There's a lot of energy rolling around in tarot. That's how we connect. It's how a tarot reader connects with the person sitting across from them, how they connect with their cards. 100% based on energy. I think that's a great question. Other people might say it's based on different things, but yeah, energy, sure. So can our future change based on energies? Sure. Yeah, change your mind, change your world, change your attitude, change your attraction. 100%. Your future can change based on energy, because your future isn't set in stone. At least I don't believe it is. It's not fated. When you make a choice, you alter your future every time you make a choice. Every single time. That's why when people sit down with me and they want to know what's coming, I tell them, for me, I'm reading personally within a time frame of 3 to 6 months. I don't read past that, very rarely, because so much can change in 3 to 6 months that anything after 6 months is a wash. It's so very rarely going to be what I said it was going to be. Even in 3 months, so much could change, because once someone leaves my table, they can do whatever they want with the information I've given them. And if they act on it, then they will change the outcome, should they choose, of that reading, or they'll reinforce it. So it's all up to the person. Yeah, it's all a choice. I agree, Adiba. If your thinking changes, your energy changes, your future can change. Yeah, 100%. The concept is similar to the law of attraction. I don't subscribe to the law of attraction, but some of the concepts are interesting to me. So yeah, if you change your thinking, you're going to change your choices, and if you change your choices, then the outcomes will be different. Yeah, great questions. That's one of the ways I use tarot too, is people will tell me, okay, so this is what I want to do, but how do I do that? And so I'll pull cards to talk about what are the actions you can do. Or if someone's having a challenge in their relationship, I pull cards to see how they're thinking, speaking, feeling, and what they want most for that person and the other people that are involved in that relationship. And hopefully there's alignment within the person, but I'm also looking for a congruency between how they're thinking or how they're speaking or how they are feeling or what they want most. Because if they want different things, there's no congruency, there's a challenge in the relationship and they need to address that. If they're not communicating effectively, there's no congruence, that's a challenge and they need to address that. So I give people insight every day on how to make different choices. I am kind of like a choice Sherpa. I'm going to guide you into what's possible. There may be certain things that do not change, like your fated partner, something like that, which is destined. See, fate and destiny are different, and I don't think we have fated partners. I really don't think we do. That alludes to the idea of twin flames. Not my bag. I don't think they exist. There's so many people in this world. So many people. Billions. How could one person be aligned with you? A single person. I think it's impossible. There are so many different people that could be a good match, a good choice uh, for the time in which you're living. Because as you grow and change, you may not be the right person or match for that person anymore, and vice versa. So uh, there is no fate. Destiny is about your own choices. Uh, I shouldn't say there is no fate. I do not believe that we are fated for one person. I think our destiny might be in alignment of I am meant to be with someone romantically, but that doesn't always have to be the same person. Uh, or be such fate that if the stars don't align, I never meet them. No. Uh, yeah, I don't think that's true. I don't subscribe to that. And I'll have people come to me and ask me, can you tell me more about my twin flame? Nope, but I can tell you about the person you're with, or I can tell you about the person that you're thinking about dating, because I can't read on something I don't believe in. But then how can tarot predict future like that? That has not happened. It will happen, but then how can it predict future? So that's the idea. It's predicting what could happen based on the energy of the moment. So in the period in which you're sitting with a tarot reader, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, that energy of that moment where the question is asked and the cards are pulled, that is a point in time. It's a single point in time where the energy is unique to that moment and is encompassing of everything that the sitter brought to the table and everything that the reader brought to the table. Focusing on that energy, we think about, all right, thanks for reading. We think about what the possibilities are based on the choices that are in front of the person who's sitting across from us. And that is the prediction based on the current energy and the actions that exist today. Here's a potential outcome. Prediction. Here's a potential outcome. Once you leave the table, you have choice. So you can act on that outcome and find a way to make it come true, or you can act against that outcome and find a way to make it not come true. So when people get mad at tarot readers for saying, what you said was going to happen didn't happen, well, you have free will. You have choice. You can change those outcomes. So if a tarot reader says A is going to happen, but B happens, you made a choice. You altered the experience. The other caveat to that is sometimes the tarot reader is truly wrong. Sometimes they're either a shitty reader or um, or the energy, they just didn't tap into the energy correctly. So there's different factors that go into predictive readings that can cause them to be right or wrong depending on how you see right or wrong. I mean, it's right and wrong is subjective anyway. Good and bad is subjective. You know, yeah. So it's truly, it all depends on that moment. Great question. I'm glad you asked. Have you been going to a tarot reader, Adiba? Sure. That's why I'm here. I'm working on one thing and answering questions about tarot. So, of course, I'm happy to. I love talking about tarot. Hi, Huncho. I'm answering questions about tarot, but I'm not doing tarot readings if that's what you're looking for. Just see videos on YouTube. Yeah, and all of those, Adiba, are just as a point of clarification, they're all generic because they're not reading for someone. They're kind of reading for a general energy. They might be reading for a sun sign astrologically. And those, like the ones that say, hey, if you've come across this video, it just might be for you. It's not for you. It's in general. It's for everyone. So anytime you see someone do a reading in general, it's for everyone. But if you sit down and sit with the reader, that experience should be solely about you and focused on you. You should hear things that are confirmational for you. So if you're sitting with a reader that vibes with you and you vibe with them, you'll hear things that are confirmational, meaning things you already knew. You'll hear some things that you were either hoping to hear or hoping not to hear. And you can ask specific questions saying, tell me more about this, or what should I do about that? And the reader can guide you along the way. Something true happened based on one of those general readings, and you're suffering because of that. Why are you suffering? I know we're working through some translation here, so um, can you explain to me what you're suffering through? What happened? Okay. So the general reading gave you some advice that caused you to make a choice, and then you met someone. Great. Now you don't know if you'll have a future with him or not. Mm-hmm. Why don't you know? Uh-huh. Different countries. He does not know that I had judged him on the base of tarot as my future spouse. Ah, which is okay. He doesn't have to know that. Yeah, he doesn't have to know that you watched a video on YouTube that guided you towards finding this person. Uh, but you can get a reading if you want another reading about the relationship. You can get a reading about how the relationship is going today, or what's the outcome if you pursue that relationship. So that you can see kind of where it's going and what action you might want to take in order to be successful in him being a part of your future. Yeah, so if it uh-huh. Yeah, so you can explore how you'd like that to turn out with tarot. Like you can explore um so I was thinking that can tarot be true for future. Yeah, you can. You can explore that. So if you're getting another tarot reading, this is different than just listening to the general ones. You can book a tarot reader to ask specific questions and get some guidance on what happens if you pursue that as a relationship. What happens if you reach back out? What happens if you move? What happens if you stay where you are? Uh, all in correspondence to the potential relationship that you're interested in. That way, you can explore safely some of the choices that you're thinking about making, so that you can then uh, decide if you want to pursue that relationship or not. You don't know anything about him, but you consider him your future. Yeah, tarot can tell you more about him, kind of what he's into, what how he, um, and and the challenge is you don't like I don't use tarot to spy on people, like what are they doing or what is their experience. I use tarot for the person who's across from me. So I help you explore and examine your choices so that you can do whatever it is you want to do next with an insight into how that's going to turn out. But if this other person doesn't know that you're planning a relationship with them, then you got to start there. Yeah, you got to start there. Like, uh, is there a potential for this relationship? What happens if I pursue the relationship? What's the outcome of it? Um, and then you have to act on it. You have to like talk to the person. You have to reach out to them and start to make that relationship move. Because if they don't know that you're having a relationship with them, it's going to be challenging. It's going to, just in general. Right? Yeah. Right. Those are all great questions, Adiba. Uh, yeah, I would recommend getting a tarot reading specific for you. Nice talking to you too. That way, it's not generic advice; it's specific to your situation, and you can hone in on those questions and then decide how you want to move forward. Why are all my tarot answers to the same question 50-50? Queen of Sheba, that's a great question. Sometimes people ask the same question over and over again. Awesome, Adiba. Best of luck with it. Um, some people ask the same question over and over again, Queen of Sheba, and at some point, The universe is just like, done with it. I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear instead of what I told you you needed to hear in the first place. Um, Also, if you're reading for yourself, your own bias, you're welcome, Adiva, your own bias might come in wanting to see a particular outcome, and so you keep reading looking for the outcome you want, but see the outcome you need, and it can get confusing. If you're getting readings from other people, the energy may be shifting. One day it may be a yes, and the next day it may be a no. So the answer can change based on the circumstances surrounding the question that you're asking. And if you're working with different readers, maybe you got a great reader, maybe you got a shitty reader. Uh, Maybe the reader's on that day, maybe they're off that day. Whether they're subjectively good or bad may not be of consequence. It may just be that they're having a bad reading day, uh, and that they're actually really good. So it kind of depends. Are there other circumstances that are around your readings? Is one of those a specific circumstance that I described? Does that make sense, Queen of Sheba? Does that answer your question? Still there, Queen? Does that answer your question? I don't know if I've helped you or not. I hope that gave you the answer you were looking for. For those of you that are joining, I'm answering questions about tarot while I'm working on a tarot reading for the people who've subscribed to my tarot services on my website at ComingOutTarot.com. So I'm building that while answering your questions. So I'm not doing readings here, but I am answering questions about tarot or about tarot readers, so you can get some insight into how to have the best tarot reading for you. I asked the same job related questions to many tarot readers, and the answer is the same. Should I believe it? Uh, well, if you're getting the same repeated answer and you're giving your space in between tarot readings, I would say, yeah. If you're getting the same answer, that's pretty consistent. There's a synchronicity there. You're getting the same message over and over again. uh, the only way you might consider so two things are happening. One, if you don't like the answer you're getting, then you have to change your behavior because that will change the outcome. Earlier, another question asker and I were talking about change your thinking, change your behavior, change your outcome. It may also be that you're not asking the right question. And if you ask a different question, maybe you'll get the answer you're looking for. But that will require a shift in thinking, a shift in behavior, and eventually a change in outcome. So in the end, if you're not liking the answer you're getting from tarot readers, change your thinking, change your behavior, and you will change your outcome. Especially if that answer is repetitive. There's a reason you're getting the same answer over and over and over again. Different than some sitters who are getting um, answers that seem to be contradictory. If you're getting the same answer, I would believe it. Why don't? Here's another question. Why don't you believe it? Why? What is the reason you have not to trust the answer? I'm from. I'm gonna butcher the name of this Nagaland. Nagaland. Um, Hi, Asenla. Can you please explain about the Ace of Cups? Sure. The Ace of Cups is the first card in the minor suit of cups in the tarot within 78 cards. Um, cups are usually aligned with emotions and the way we feel about things. And the Ace of Cup is also associated with the Holy Grail and our nature, our spiritual nature, and our understanding of how spirit and our emotions are connected. The Ace of Cups is often the emergence of the purest form of love that can exist, uh, and we may not always recognize it, but it's there. So the Ace of Cups tends to be that type of experience or feeling. Have you had another experience with the Ace of Cups where you might see it differently? Because the way you experience the Ace of Cups is what's most important to how you understand its meaning. Does that help us, Sunla? Also, I'd love to hear how you think about it. There's my Ace of Cups in my favorite deck. There was a loud stomach growl. I'm getting hungry. Might be time for breakfast. Speaking of, I'm gonna go get some more tea and breakfast. So thank you all for your questions about tarot. I'm thinking about possibly doing this when I'm working on Manifesting Monday on Saturday. So maybe I'll see you back here again or some new folks. So thank you very much for being with me, and I'm glad to have answered your questions. It's a lot of fun for me to talk about tarot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna go get something to eat. Finish my morning. If I can figure out how to stop this. Here we go.